right. Well, hopefully the microphone sounds good because I'm just realizing now that I did not select the correct microphone. Apologize for that. Now the correct microphone is selected. All right. So, team, I was wrong. My optimism from yesterday fell flat on its face today. And again, there appears to be something macro taking place today. There's a few things I'm going to mention today. The oil tax, I'm going to show you on a graph. It's not a tax per se, but it is effectively a tax, and it's going to have some implications. And that could be part of what we're seeing here. Because as you can tell, there's obviously inflationary pressures that are killing bonds, and those bonds are making mortgage rates go higher. It's just a sad reality at the moment if you're in the mortgage industry, which I am. So let's take a quick look here. I'm going to show you a few different charts today. And by the way, GameStop ran up huge again today, especially in the after hours. We'll look at that as well just for fun. But I want to get to I'll do mortgage bonds first, and I'm going to show you what is effectively the oil tax. So here's our graph. Remember yesterday, I mean, we've had great times, right? We've had some really, really good times with mortgage rates in the past, couple of months. And now all of a sudden, we've got this big fall off here. It's just gone bad. The milk has gone bad. We've fallen from grace where rates were super low up here. And, remember these bond prices go down, rates go up, and we've just falling. Yesterday, I was excited. I really thought that this guy right here was going to be the guy. That is a really good technical signal. It makes you believe that you're going to see a rebound. You're going to see prices go higher. And that is exactly what did not happen today. So what happened today was this. We went lower, much lower, again. So lower, again, is bad because that means that rates went up today, another 30-something basis points. What is going on? How could this be? Well, let's talk about something else that's a major note. So that's just what happened with the technicals. I was wrong. They continue to get worse. We did hold a floor of support here on a Fibonacci level, but it looks pretty weak, to be honest with you. It looks like we'll probably be worse again tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong about that, but that's just what it looks like. So let's do this. Let's talk about what happened with Fed today. We know the Fed owns a ton of this paper. They've been in buying billions of dollars, if not tens of billions of dollars a day of these mortgage bonds, and they're getting murdered. Their balance sheet is getting murdered. What happened today? Well, this morning, I believe it was like about 9 a.m. our time, the Federal Reserve had a pause. There was a pause in the wiring of money. And they basically issued a statement, and I'll pull the statement up, what we got on the lending side, what we heard about the Federal Reserve basically just saying, okay, they said, I'll read it to you. Subject, urgent news, Fed wires delayed. Please note, wire delays today. It's come to our attention that the Federal Reserve is currently down. The Federal Reserve is down, and it's affecting wires getting out to closing agents. We have received the same messaging from our warehouse banks. This is an internal message. We have no ETA at this point in time. That was at 10:45 a.m. PST. The Federal Reserve is down. Not good. And they said, please notify your customers of potential delay with fundings today. And it did definitely cause problems. I've never seen the Federal Reserve be down. I've never seen Fed wires have an issue. Maybe that's happened and I just didn't notice it, or maybe I forgot about it. That's possible. But that obviously is somewhat alarming. We know that the Fed is getting smoked on their bond trade, smoked. But these are the guys who print the money, so who cares? Just print more, right? Did the Fed get stopped out? Did the Fed get margin called on its bonds somehow? I mean, this is a joke. Obviously, that's not what happened, but that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like some sort of forced selling. I don't know. Did another country, now I'm going conspiracy theory, did another country sell a bunch of these bonds to put the Fed in a bad spot, to cause a liquidity issue? Aren't we just wiring money through computers at this point? How could this be a problem? Was there a hack? We don't know yet. All we know is that the Fed shut down money today for an hour or two for no supposed reason at this point in time. Meanwhile, the bonds that they own are getting murdered. Okay, So what's the point? The point is I was wrong. That's all I'm going to say for this one. I was wrong. But what I do want to show you, and this is the point of the video. Remember, the reason why we're paying such close attention to rates right now is because we know something that's very important. We know that this real estate market will hold as long as rates hold. If mortgage rates get worse, that is pretty much the only danger that we have right now. Even though the economy, you could say, is on shaky ground, even though you could say there's employment issues, the market's on fire amidst all of that. So you can't say that that's going to bring us down. That can't even slow us down right now. What would bring the market down? Higher interest rates. We're starting to see that happen. Now, keep in mind, I'm saying higher interest rates, but rates are still historically really low. I mean, you're still getting rates in the 2s for FHA and VA, and the low 3s, let's say, or even high 2s in some cases for conventional. So it's not like rates are skyrocketing to 5%, but they are going up. But it's the oil tax. I think I finally figured it out. The oil tax is the big scare that's going on. Let's see if we can draw some conclusions here, shall we? Howard, my marker, please. Thank you. So here is oil. This is the price of oil. Now, if I were to draw this back further, you'll see that we had a pretty nice sustained price of oil that really didn't get too much above $45 a barrel. It's also true that we know that big oil companies, by the way, this is one of the reasons why I own Exxon and Chevron. I've been telling y'all, they're crushing. Not only are they paying huge dividends, but the appreciation opportunity is great. Oil was cheap. Gas was cheap. Right here, does anybody know what happened in early November, by the way? What in the world happened here in early November that changed this trajectory? I can't recall. But anyhow, a lot of people voted for this. So here it is. We have a gas tax. Now, it's not in the form of a tax. It's not being issued by the IRS. But oil has gone up a lot, almost 50% in just a few months. And so what we have here is we have basically a tax on everything. Because when oil costs more, then everything costs more. When oil costs more, and think about all the things that oil touches. Think about all the fuel. Think about all the trucks on the road. Think about all the cars on the road. Think about all the planes in the air. All the stuff that's carrying goods, through, train the railroads. This is why Warren Buffett owns the railroads, because they don't, this is a non-factor for them, right? But so maybe buy some railroad stocks too. I don't know. But look at this, huge increase in the cost of oil. It costs more money to do everything. It costs more money to heat your home. It costs more money to do everything. And also makes these companies, these big oil companies, dramatically more profitable. And that is the reason why, although I lost on my bets on the election, I have profited wildly from the election, because it's very easy to see what was going to happen next from a macro business perspective. And here it is. This is the thing that's scaring everybody. When is this going to stop? Look at this trajectory. Are we going to be at $5, $6, $7 a gallon of gas here in California? What's it going to be in other places? How much is this going to affect things? This, I believe, is what the scare is about. When is this going to stop? Maybe if oil stops going up, we'll see things calm down. Maybe. I don't know. But this is a tax on everything. That's what this is. It's literally a tax on everything. And there is no way around it. This is what's happening. So these companies are going to see they're making money hand over fist. In fact, if you go and you look, and let's take a look at a couple things here, just for fun. How about that? Let's go over here. Sorry, I have to look at all my craziness on my desktop. All right, so here's where I got the picture from. Here's one that's just for fun real quick. GameStop. Look at this. GameStop started the day at $45 a share. In after hours, it traded up to $170. I thought we were done with this. How crazy is that? Okay, well, let's look at some of the ones that I've been telling you about here. So what happens? We look at like a Chevron and Exxon. Why was I interested in them? Well, because they were down year over year, like 25%. Everything else is up. How could that be? Why? Well, because oil was under $50. And under $50, it's hard for them to make money. If you look at their EPS, their earnings per share, it was negative. They're losing money, but they're still paying a big dividend. They still have tons of cash flow. It's okay. But look at a stock like this, and we can go back. Let's look at the same window. Same window. You go back, boom, right here, early November, boom, and then just higher and higher and higher. And so this right here, I think I entered somewhere in here. Yeah, it was in the low 80s, I believe. So boom, higher. And you're going to see the same thing for Exxon. So this is great for the big oil companies. This is great for investors in the big oil companies. This is bad for pretty much everyone else. And I think this is where the spook is coming from, because how much further is this going to go? I don't know. All I know is this is definitely a factor. It could be the main factor. I don't have another reason yet, but I know that bonds keep going down every day, even though the Fed is buying an unbelievable amount of them. I also know, and we all know now, that, oh shoot, my bad. Keep forgetting to take that off. Sorry, I'm a one man production here. So we know that prices in oil have gone higher, but what we don't know is when it's going to stop. And without having an idea of when this is going to end, I think that may be what's sort of scary. Are we going to $100 a barrel? Do you remember that? When was that? I can't remember when that was. It was maybe early 2010s, something like that. Remember we got to $100, $120. I think it got to 180 at one point. We're at 60. So if the market is concerned that we might be heading back to those levels, it's literally a tax on everyone and will make everything cost more, which is even more inflationary. We're already in an inflationary cycle. So that obviously would tell you why bonds are getting murdered and why mortgage rates are going higher. Is this the thing? Is this it? Is it going to be the price of oil? Is it going to be this inflation which causes rates to spike? Is that going to be what stops or slows down this red hot real estate market? Very well could be. Very well could be. But most importantly, I was wrong about rates. I had a good feeling. We had a good looking pattern. It looked good. And then today we got crushed again, and the Federal Reserve had to turn the spigot off for a couple hours. So yeah, I'm a little bit alarmed. But at the same time, things are back up and running again in just a couple hours. We're fine. Loans funded and everything's good. So right at the moment, I will tell you that we're in no man's land. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? We keep losing ground on rates. I think if you are in a situation, you're just getting into escrow, you may have to make a decision. You may have to use your financing contingency as a shield to potentially wait it out and see what happens. See if you can get in. See where you can get in at. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you at this point. It's a very difficult situation. But as always, if you like it, lock it. It's always the rule. I do think, I want to put the silver lining here, this is good news for buyers. Wait a minute, Derrick. You just said rates are going up. Rates have gone up. Yes. We need to balance this thing out, guys. We have to find some balance here. The market is way too tilted in the direction of the sellers right now, which is great if you're a seller. This is why I was saying yesterday, if you're selling and buying, and a lot of people are keeping instead of selling, sell. Take that, ring the register. Get that money. Why not? It's right there. I have a feeling that if you don't, you might be a little... one day. So sell and buy, good idea. Will real estate get smashed by this? Will it get crushed? I don't think so, but it could. I do know this: buy real estate with a long-term perspective, and you'll always win. That we know. That's why you have to have a real estate strategy. That's why you always need to be looking long-term, even if you're not going to be here, or maybe you're going to go somewhere, you're going to do something. You need to have a real estate strategy, and everyone can have a different one. I have a different one than many people do. It's very specific, and I initiated a long time ago, and I've stuck with it. Many people are buying out-of-state real estate. I'm starting to get into that myself right now for other reasons. And so have a real estate strategy. I'm here to help, especially for my VA buyers. If you are a VA buyer out there or a VA homeowner, if you want to talk about this, if you want to put the strategy together, shoot me a text, give me a call. If you want to try to come up with a game plan to get into the market, I'm a great person to talk to with regard to that. Reach out to me, give me a call or text, shoot me an email, whatever works for you. Let's talk about it. Let's make sure that you have a plan that makes sense for you. Let's make sure that where you're buying, when you're buying, all that stuff makes sense. And then the rate doesn't really matter, because if you get 2.75 instead of a 2.25, so what? So what? Rates come down later, you can refinance. If they don't, hey, good thing you got locked in, right? That's always going to be the case. So this oil tax, I think, is what's spooking the market. I think I figured it out. We'll see if I'm right. How will we know if I'm right? If oil can slow down for just one day and we have the opportunity, sorry, I got to start making calls. If oil will slow down for a day or two and we can see what happens in the market as a result of that, maybe we'll see if I'm right. Maybe that'll be tomorrow. Maybe it won't. But I do believe that this is the big concern, because we have stopped a lot of the production here in the country that was helping keep the price down. And it appears that there has been a huge amount of demand. And it also appears that there's a desire by our current government to allow other sources to import and certain things that are going to take place, basically, that are going to increase the price of oil. And the market is obviously trading that way. Now, remember, one of the things that happens with oil, one of the reasons that the oil and commodities market exists is for hedging. So if you're Southwest Airlines, for example, you've paid for your fuel months in advance. You lock it in. You go and you price in and you lock in your cost for your fuel with hedge. And that hedge helps you offset if fuel prices go up. So if you're Southwest, you're buying your tons of futures, okay, because then you're going to have to go, or you're selling it, whichever way you're taking the trade, and you're hedging against it. And that's the point of it. And so there's also could be like a little bit of a short squeeze, if you will, in oil because of that. Because now we had the sustained inexpensive oil is gone. How many people were asleep at the wheel for that? How many people didn't catch that? How many people were ahead of that? How many companies, how many CEOs were ahead of that? And they're the ones who drove it up initially. It's hard to say, but this is definitely something that's having an impact. All right. That's it for today. I have more videos coming soon. I have a lot of information that I'll be discussing regarding Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and investment real estate in the coming days. So I'll keep you abreast of what's going on. I wish I had better news. I wish I did, but it is what it is. I'm going to keep researching, try to keep you informed. So share this video. Let's help make you and your friends smarter than everyone else. I'll see you guys soon.